are you? Don't be nervous. Where would you like us, guys? Yeah?
I thought we were on radio. Obviously not.
Obviously not.
Yeah, but you don't feel like you are on radio.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Yolanda, and I'm from the Children's Foundation in Cape Town.
And my name is Beatrice Phiri. I'm from the Children's Radio Foundation in Zambia.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a piano player from England.
Yes.
And I'm a prince from sort of Wales.
Yes.
Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, it's very nice. We like shared before one question. I just had one question for each of you.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind, we can ask you more. We can ask you more. My question for you, Prince Harry. On Sunday, we had a pre-conference with young people. We developed a call to action it addresses the government, families, policymakers, just to name a few. One main concern of youth is that we are often not consulted in the decisions that affects us. What I would love to know for you is, how do you consult young people, and how does that influence your decision making?
I think you know what, the most important thing is being able to give young people a voice, as this is what's been ringing around the conference for the last week, and that's certainly whatever I do in whatever space it is. We always try and give the issue or the core of the problem, and give them the voice, whoever they are or whatever it is. So you can empower young people as much as you want, but unless you actually listen to them to start with, listen to their advice. You guys know what makes everybody tick, and it's going to vary in different countries. But so I say I'm in a different generation, and he's in a completely different generation as well. We've almost got 3 generations beyond here. But I think the most important thing is the fact that we have to accept that the next generation is an upgrade of the previous generation, and if we're able to give you a voice and to listen to what you guys have to say, then we can go off and make it happen. I think UNAIDS would be a fantastic place to have, or to encourage multiple countries to have a working group of youngsters in every area to talk about the issues, so that you can keep it current. You guys are the most current things around.
Well, you're the future of the world. I've always been excited about this generation of people, because I think they will be far more loving, far more caring, more compassionate, and so we need to hear what you want, and you shouldn't be left out of any equation. As Prince Harry said, the UNAIDS thing is an amazing thing, and we have to go around every country and find out what the younger generation need. Well, we need to hear their voices, and we need to let the governments hear your voices, because if they ignore you, then they're making a huge mistake, because you are our future. You're my children's future, and his children's future. So it's very important that you're heard.
Interesting. Prince Harry, you spent a gap year in Lesotho some years ago. Can you describe an experience during that time that moved you to partner with Prince Seso to open Center Body?
I don't think there was one experience. I think it was the whole experience. I spent 9 weeks there. It was requested myself to ask the people that were organising it, saying, send me to somewhere in Africa, somewhere that has an AIDS problem. And I was 18, 19 at the time. And my knowledge was very, very small. And all I wanted to do was make my mother proud, and to see what all of her passion was about. And they said, how about Lesotho? And I said, where? And I'd never even heard of the country, nor had anybody else around me. And I went there, and after spending 9 weeks there, left and thought to myself, this is crazy. You can't spend 9 weeks in a country like that, play around with the kids, hear all the stories, look at the heartache that's being caused by this epidemic, and not do something about it. So it was a very easy decision for myself and Prince Seso, the White Prince and the Black Prince, to team up and start up a charity and do what we can through helping kids, young adolescents, be able to talk about the issues and have a basic understanding of what HIV is. As Elton said on stage just now, it's not in the school curriculum. If you want to be able to if you want to learn algebra, you get taught maths in school. Where is the education of HIV? We shouldn't have to educate young.
Shouldn't be us people doing it.
No, we shouldn't have to educate people on HIV once they're already infected. It's crazy.
I totally agree.
Sarah Elton, I know one of your dear friends is one of my heroes, Dr. Desmond Tutu. And you are calling on the agency for governments to pick up the pace in fighting for HIV and AIDS. Can you explain to us what is it exactly that you are asking from the government to do for the HIV and AIDS?
Well, we don't really give much money to governments from an AIDS Foundation point of view. We come in as a template for an organisation, and then get the government on board. We show them it works, and then they put money into it. And that's the way it's always been done. And we've always said that we would never give money to governments because then we lose track of where the money goes. So we set up an organisation like Mothers to Mothers or something like that, and then the government comes and sees that it's a huge success, and then people like the Clinton Foundation, the World Health Organization come in and say, oh, that's great, and they expand it to 20, 30 more other locations. We say to the government, this needs to be done, but we'll show you how it's done, and then they can come in. The health minister here was with me yesterday at an LGBT project, and it was very empowering. He's done a lot, and I think the government has won a lot in South Africa by organisations like the Gates Organisation, the Clinton Foundation, coming in, making things work, and then the government comes on board. It's a much better way of doing things.
Interesting. And Elton, your foundation has been around for 25 years now, and I wasn't born by then. What progress have you made that you're so proud of so far?
Well, when I started the foundation in Atlanta, in America, in 1991, it was two people, myself and John Scott, and we were delivering meals to people. People then needed to have nursing, meals. They wouldn't come outside because their faces and bodies were covered with carposes, and they were too ashamed to be seen. We've come an awful long way. I mean, it's kind of an amazing way in such a short time. And most of it because of the scientific work that's been done with medicine. The fact that Bill Clinton's foundation made the medicine available at a cheap rate because the drug companies wouldn't bring the price down. He said, okay, I'm going to go and ask this other drug company to make it, so sue us. So he made medicine available for people who couldn't afford to buy it. We've made enormous progress, and it warms my heart coming to a place like this in 2016 to see how much progress has been made. But I'm never satisfied. I'm not satisfied until we stop the whole thing. They have a projected year of 2030. I hope it's sooner. But until we get rid of the stigma, until we become all inclusive and don't leave the drug users, the LGBT people, the incarcerated people, the sex workers behind, and the young people, then we won't solve it. But we're almost there if we can just get rid of the stigma. The stigma is getting in our way, and it really is holding us back. But the way you solve that is by love and compassion. And listen, I came here 11 years ago, and gay people was too afraid to have their photograph taken with me because they didn't want to be beaten up. In Durban on Saturday, there's a gay pride. Things fall very slowly, but actually, if you look at in terms scientifically of how far we've come in this disease, it's extraordinary. And this is a disease that you can live with. You don't die with it, you live with it. If you're tested soon enough, you live with it for the rest of your life. It's much easier than having diabetes and having to inject yourself every day. We're practically down to 1 pill a day. So
things have changed so much in such a short time.
And it's some people find it now empowering to be HIV. It empowers them. Well, before they were ashamed to have it because it's a sexually transmitted disease on most 99% of the time. It's most of the time because you intravenous drug users, but most of the time it's associated with sexual disease. So it's kind of you don't talk about it. But people now, we have to talk about it. You have to talk about everything. You have to have dialogue. You have to dialogue with each group that are being left behind, people who are being forgotten about. Once you bring those people into the fold, then you're up and running. At the moment, we're a bit like a big steamroller, a big bulldozer. We need to become a Ferrari, and so that we can go quicker. And before we can become a Ferrari, we have to bring everyone on board.
Just one more. Please, a family man. How do you plan on protecting your sons in a world of HIV?
Well, talk to them about it. You know, kids are very, very smart.
Yeah.
Children are some of the smartest people in the world. My kids are smarter than I am sometimes. And so they know what I do. They know that I'm coming here to work for people who have a disease. They're only 5.5 and 3.5, but they know. And you tell them, and they, you know, you don't hide it away from them as a bad thing. As Prince Harry said, it should be in the curriculum at school. It's, you know, this is what's happening in the world, and be careful. I mean, well, I didn't have sex till I was 23. I grew up in 1950. Nobody told me about sex. Nobody told me it was deemed to be disgraceful. And if a girl got pregnant, she was sent away in the 1950s. And, you know, people should be told, they should be informed. People now are informed, they have phones all the time, they're informed on certain things. Why can't they be informed about HIV and AIDS? It's ridiculous. It should be in the school curriculum.
It's exactly the same as any other disease you can get tested.
Yeah.
And testing is as easy, if not easier, than diabetes.
Diabetes.
So why shouldn't it?
Or TB. What, you know, TB is just bad. And you know, there's an epidemic of TB. People talk about that, but they don't talk about AIDS. Come on, get real.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to interview.
I'll love you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I was like, we'll all be around the microphone, so it's going to be great. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Well done. Thank you. Well done. Well done. If you can you bring carrots? You guys are great. So good. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Really, no problem. Cheers. Thank you. That was awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.